is another comedian you can see all over DC, Maryland, Virginia. Selwyn, coming from Woodbridge.
Hey, y'all clap it up for Brandon and his long ass tongue. I said, you need to ass? On the first day, nigga? God damn. That's some nasty shit. That's like, shit. You a Scorpio?
No.
Here, nah. Let's see, oh yeah. That makes sense, water sign. Yeah, you squirt too, don't you? Oh man, I'm getting older. Yeah, I realized that because my kids made me feel like that. They said, Daddy, you getting old. I said, what you mean? He was like, you was born in the 1900s. I said, first off, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's what they do. They was like, y'all millennials, zennials, whatever they want to call it. I'm Gen X, okay. You know, I grew up, I was like, shit, I'm 45 years old. I'm like, some people come up and they be like, oh, you don't look it. You're like, oh my God, you look like you in your 30s. I said, well, you know what they say, black don't cry.
Black don't cry.
My daughter be like this, but your knees do. I was like, hey, calm down now, because one day I was coming downstairs and my daughter, she said, good morning, Daddy. I said, Boogie, how'd you know I was up? She said, I heard your knees. I said, you know what, I'm done with you, you know. I'm at the age where I can't mess with a cougar. It's like, cougars are not cougars. That's grandma, okay? Like, that's geriatric, that's Miss Betty, you know what I mean? Like, her name is Geraldine or something like that. We're like, oh, Shirley? He was like, yeah, Shirley hit me up. I kind of like I don't like to mess with the young girls though, cause that is a air fryer coochie. You know what I mean? Air fryer coochie, they just pop it in and they just be ready to go. They be like, come on, you ready? I'm like, I need some crock pot coochie. I need that thing to marinate in the morning. You put it on, and it's ready and simmering. By the time I get home, I know it's wet and moist. Okay. I'm like, that is some good ass coochie. It's falling off the bone. You like, yeah, because young girls, they make me feel bad too. They like, look at you, Selwyn, you over here hat fishing. I'm like, these is my wigs, okay? Like, same thing you got, bitch, okay? Heifers be running around here talking about, I was like, hey, eyebrows, they got umbrellas on their face. I said, yeah, it is. He was like, they be ready. Yeah, they be ready for that. They love that sound too. I'm like, shit. No, I'm telling you the truth, man. I'm like, I'm an Air Force veteran. Yeah. And I heard a Marine out here earlier. He said, hoorah! Y'all like that, huh? What's that? Yeah, no, I did 12 years, man, and I had 3 deployments. And in the desert, like when you go out to the desert and you deploy, they tell you something that throws you off. They said, we got general order number 1. I said, what's that? They're like, there's no drinking and there's no sex. I said, damn, it's gonna be a lot of beatings out here. You know, I knew it was because when I came home, I went to the doctor and I said, Doc, my left wrist hurts. He's like, you probably got carpal tunnel. I said, oh yeah. He's like, yeah. I said, how'd I get that? He said, probably exacerbated it. You can tell that? He said, I said exacerbated, asshole. I said, oh, not masturbated. I said, well, I did that too. You know what I mean? Like this Apple Watch done told on me a couple times. One time I was in the middle of my strokes, right? You know what I mean? That mother was like, he was like, keep going. Almost there. Congratulations. Gave me the circle and everything. I said, hell yeah. I was like, 10,000 steps, baby. Hey, it's all about them steps. Y'all got to get there. You know what I mean? It was like, that means I'm healthy. You know I'm healthy. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm into technology, but I'm not really into technology no more. Like, I don't like to update my phone. I got an iPhone 16. I did that. But all these updates, they get on my goddamn nerves. It was like, another one. I was like, I knew something was wrong because it made my numbers big, and he was like, "No, bitch, you getting old." I said, "Oh hell no!" Like one time I had text a homeboy, and I was like, "Hey man," I said, "things are going good for me." I did was it the Apple text to talk thing, right? I'm talking with it. I said, "Hey man, everything's going good." I said, "I'm getting all my ducks in a row." He replied back with a question mark. I said, "Hey, what the hell?" He said, "You getting all your dicks in a row?" I said, "Nah, I ain't got no dicks." He like, goddamn Siri trying to make me sound gay. Right? I went to McDonald's one time and I was like, I realized the older I get, I know certain things that I can't eat. Like beef make me real sleepy. I went to McDonald's, I got me a Big Mac. I told my lady, I was like, "I'm probably gonna go to sleep tonight." She said, "Why is that?" I said, "Cause I ate me a Big Mac." She put a question mark on it. I said, "Bitch, why you questioning me?" I woke up in the morning, I said, I see the question mark, it said, "I ate a big man." I ain't no big man. I ain't got no dicks in the road, no none of that. I was like, that is gay. It's cool though. Hey, be who you want to be. He, her, they, them, whatever, all that shit. Hey, I'm cool with you, you know what I mean? Over there. Back in the day, they used to do this shit right there. You like, he. I say, what is right? They like, I said, I see. Like, so for y'all don't know. My man said, yeah, I know. Nah, I grew up in a different era. I'm like, back in the 70s, I'm like, I was late 70s. So people, when they do look at me, when I was in the military, they was like, "Hey, why didn't you pass this PT test?" I said, "Hey man, I'm like a 79 Porsche." I said, "This bitch look good, but it don't run right, okay?" I was like, my engine be all off. I was like, sometimes my exhaust be stinking and shit. You know what I mean? I was like, my lady gotta play with the gears a little longer than it needs. She got a spit starter. Just it sound like a vibrator. It do. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, that'd be cool. Nah, don't ever go to a porn store with your lady. Don't do that. You're not gonna win, fellas. Everybody was thinking, they be like, "I got a big one." They be like, "No, I got a bigger one." I'm telling you, man, this lady pulled out a rabbit on me. I said, "I ain't think you was into bestiality." That thing had a couple of functions on it. I said, "Hell no." "What you gonna do with that?" She said, "Come here." I'm a Christian lady. Hold on. I'm not into damn paganism, okay? That is wild to me. It's like, that is too much. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? But no, I learned some lessons when I went to this porn store, though. I did. I found out that women got 9,000 nerve endings on their clitoris. Yeah, that's a lot, ain't it? I was just sitting there, 9,000 nerve endings. She's like, yeah, the lady comes to me, she's like, yeah, she was like, 9,000 nerve endings. I said, God damn. I said, well, she did you know that? I said, I said, but what I did know is if you get on one nerve, she is shutting that whole cookie factory down. You're like, hey, no. She said, well, I can make you feel the same way as the clitoris. I said, man, I don't have one of those. She's like, no, bring your nose here. She took this little thing out. It was like 3 inches big. It was called the bullet. That motherfucker, she said, bring your nose here. He said, I said, hey! I said, bitch, get that thing off my nose. She said, what's wrong? I said, first off, you're disrespectful. I ain't never had no dick on my face. Okay? She said, how did it feel? It felt good. Man, that thing tickled. Yeah, now my nose is a rose. Alright. I'm gonna give y'all one more, man. Old girl said she was a stripper. That shit was crazy, because I recently went to a strip club, and stripper told me, she said, I can't take this money, sir. I can't take this money. I said, why not? She said, it got jizz on it. I said, okay. She's like, I said, why can't you take it? She said, because I got to report it to the government. I said, why is that? She said, because it's gross income. Hey man, my name is Selma Fisher. Y'all can look me up on Instagram. Fisher is funny. I appreciate y'all time.
Give it up again for Selwyn. I'm Gen X too, but I don't identify as Gen X. I identify as a Zennial because it's just cool.